Hey, Kiah. Okay. So I'll let a few minutes go by, let some people connect and jump on. I'm super, super excited for tonight. Um, I have a special guest, which is Kiah. And so, first of all, yes, I got it. I got it. First of all, I want to say thank you to Ashley, who was on the show last or 2 weeks ago. Thank you so much. I hope you guys went and got your lashes. She had a discounted price, so I hope you got those. I got mine. Mine just came in not too long ago, so I'm super excited to wear the new ones. And so, yes, thank you, Ashley, for joining our show or my show 2 weeks ago. So this week, I have a special, special guest, Kiah, which I can't wait to jump on and get more information about. But first of all, I do want to say thank you guys that have told me congratulations for my new home. I promise you this was not planned. Me and Kiah had her date scheduled out prior to when I closed, so this was not planned at all, but it worked out perfect. So I'm just gonna jump in. I'm gonna get her on now. So
Hey.
hello.
Hello.
Okay, so you are the other way.
I'm lopsided.
Yes.
That's what I was worried about. Okay.
You it's fine. Hey Jay. Okay. Hey Tia.
Hello.
How are you?
I am good. Just struggling with technology like I'm old, apparently.
Girl, look. Um, we both be struggling, okay? Because I'm still trying to get used to things. Okay, Red Lip. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Jazz up this basic gray t-shirt because I really didn't know what to put on for this. So
No, it's perfect. Perfect. You look good.
thank you.
So let's dive in. Are you ready?
I'm ready. And with my phone in this position, I want to make sure that my battery doesn't die because I can't stick the cord in well. So I'm going to turn my brightness down a little bit.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so while you're doing that, I'm gonna ask you the
But
first question.
yeah, now I'm ready.
Okay, I'm ready, girl. So
Okay, cool.
I saw where you were explaining ways to spend passive income. Will you explain what that term means in detail and how can we achieve that?
Yeah, sure thing. So basically, the definition of passive income is really money that you're making without having to show up per se. So, for example, when you go to work, that's active income. Like that's your every hour you're not at work, you're not going to be making money. So, some examples of passive income is like now that I have this digital product, that's now passive income. I see Eddie has joined, and that has triggered me to thinking about okay, when artists, after they make their music, every time it streams and they're monetizing that, that's passive income. Now, granted, when they on somebody's stage, performing, that's active income again. So, some of the ways that you're able to make passive income, or I'll speak to what I do, is with having the investment properties. Every month that I get that income, the only month that I'm really giving a ton of effort to that property is when I identify a tenant, or if there's like a small repair that needs to be made, I may spend 2 hours sourcing the repair person and getting them into the property. But at the end of the day, every single day that the tenant is there, I'm making money. So that's my primary means of getting passive income. But people do it via the stock market, again, through products or intellectual property that they have. So the options are limitless.
Nice. I don't know about you guys, but I'm trying to get on the train.
Hey,
Okay. Okay, so how did you discover the career of being a real estate investor, and what was deciding factor in becoming an investor rather than an agent?
Yep. So I guess I kind of always knew that it existed, but I never knew that it was as attainable as it is to be a real estate investor. My thought was that, that had to be your full time gig. Like that's what you were dedicating your 40 to 60 hours per week doing, which I don't, just to be real, like I don't love it enough to spend my entire day and my entire week doing it. So as I got older, and I would say it's after I graduated from tech and really leased my first like true apartment type situation, that's when I realized like, wow, this can just be a portion of your time despite whatever you choose to do as your career. And, it can help you grow your net worth and your wealth. So that's what really piqued my interest, because my first landlord was a real estate investor. And so that's kind of my how I got started. And then I quickly learned because you see all the agents now, and it's a really cool career. And I think like what they do, just when you think about in the grand scheme of life, really helping people to identify their dream property or to sell a home that someone has maybe outgrown. I think that's a valuable skill set that will need those individuals, like, for a very long time. However, the way that my personality is set up, and, people can be very indecisive when they're shopping for properties. They may go, trick out, spend on a new car or something, mess up their credit. Like, so I don't like it in the transactional sense.
Mm-hmm.
But again, from an investment perspective, it allows me to have the career that I desire with the variance and like the challenges that I like live and tick for. But at the same time, I don't have to be burdened with some of the things that don't really align with my values from a transactional perspective.
Nice. So I see that you travel, right? So is there like any international investments like in works?
Not yet. I think there is a great value. Something about being able to pull up on people is very important for me, and
Yeah,
not have to do that often. But I know that if it was something international, that it would probably be more like a Airbnb or something where it's like you're turning it over as opposed to like your longer term tenants. And
right.
I like to be boots on the ground or have the easy access to do that. So nothing just yet, but maybe a 3 to 5 year type goal, but not right now.
Nice. Okay. So some would assume that COVID has had a negative effect on real estate. But from recent experience, I've learned that homes are being sold quickly. Has this proven to be the same for your business?
Yep. So by the grace of God, I was not impacted by COVID. I know that several people were. So I really just think it depends on the nature of your properties and really the health of your tenants, not even just from a medical perspective, which is obviously important, but also from like a financial and career perspective as well. So to your point, and shout out to you again for closing on your first property.
Yay, thank you.
Really, really big deal. So as you can see, like everything is moving really quickly as far as when you are a qualified buyer because there aren't that many houses on the market. I just sold a house on the 21st, and same thing with me, like within 5 or 6 days the house is under contract and it went.
Really?
That's like on the buy and sell side, right? But when you think about it from like a landlord perspective, what about all the people who lost their jobs who don't have money to pay for rent? So
Right,
my tenants, one was like a market rate tenant, and luckily they both stayed gainfully employed. And then another property is Section 8, and the feds always pay. So it's like, but what if that wasn't your situation? So for
right.
me, it hasn't negatively impacted me, but I can definitely see, depending on your properties and what happened to your tenants, yeah, you may like be in the negative for sure.
Gotcha. Wow. Um, so in a male dominant field, do you feel being a black woman has been beneficial or difficult to work in your career choice?
I don't know that I would say it was either or, but it has definitely like had an impact in general. I think your race and your gender are obviously something that you can't ignore when you see someone. And
Right.
my name is obviously ethnic as well. So it's like, you know that I'm a Black woman before you even meet me. I will say that I think age has probably been the biggest kind of like I have to, show people that like my money spends just like theirs type of thing.
Right.
But I wouldn't say it's been negative, but it's definitely been something that you have to like teach people or reinforce how you're going to be treated, during the transaction, especially from like being a landlord. People see you come, and I mean, I don't have to dress up in, a suit or something to do this. And so
Right.
it's just like people have that at ease thing, which we can be friends. We can be, actually, we can't be friends. We can be cool and cordial, but there's still like a level of professionalism that I'm always going to maintain. I will say in dealing with contractors, not so much like for the little onesie twosie things you need to do around your house, but when I did like my new construction, I felt that being a woman, like if I showed up as a man or pulled up with a man, that just their level of caring about hitting the deadlines and stuff was maybe more serious. But like when you build a good team, I think that you can account for that when you're picking the members on it. So it's never been like, oh my god, I'm crying myself to sleep about this, but it has been a couple of episodes.
Gotcha. Okay. That's very understandable though. So, when flipping neighborhoods, what percentage of homes are dedicated to Section 8 to reverse the culture of the neighborhood?
So that's actually not something, at least to my knowledge, that is governed at a level like, oh, when there's a certain neighborhood, 20% is allocated to. Now they're calling it the Housing Choice Voucher Program. Section 8 got like a negative stigma, and so now the Housing Choice Voucher is all about assimilation and teaching the individuals who receive funding from the program, how to, I won't say blend because you don't want them to lose their own identity, but as opposed to having like, oh, these are the Section 8, the projects or whatever, you have where people can take their voucher anywhere that it's accepted. And
Oh,
so really it's at the mercy of the landlord, right? So basically the landlord determines based on if they do have a HOA, which is a homeowners association in their neighborhood, that would be like the only limiting factor. So the landlord has to have the appetite to want to be a part of the program. And that's kind of what dictates the percentage you see in the market. But there could be a neighborhood, of 20 houses, if nobody in that neighborhood cares about, hey, Antoine, if no one in that neighborhood cares about having a Section 8 or a housing choice voucher tenant, there won't be any. But if all of them decided to do it, that's what would happen as well. So it's completely dependent on the area, dependent on the risk tolerance and appetite of the owners.
gotcha. So, with your busy schedule, how do you find time to stay fit and so fabulous, sis? How?
Don't hype me up. I would definitely just say planning for it and making it like a thing. And really paying for it too. That's what makes me really make sure that I actually do what I commit to. So for example, I pay a pretty penny to train as well as go to the gym. And by doing that, I'm not going to skip the 4 times per week that I'm supposed to do it because it's like, what is the point of paying?
Right.
Um, Also, I try to do like disguise exercises. So like I always park far, so I have to like walk. Um, I don't really worry about dieting. I believe in balance because I find that whenever I spend too much energy, like, oh, I'm not going to eat this or I'm not going to do that, like I end up doing it in excess. So just like balance and again, putting it on the calendar and like telling people that I'm doing it too, because then it's like, I don't want to face people like, oh, damn, I didn't do it. So.
So, what do you use to actually like make sure you are, I guess, following all of your things that you have to do because you have so many properties? Like, are you using a calendar? Are you using a phone calendar to like, what do you use to like, because I know it's such, so much. remember.
No, literally my phone calendar. I'm very big on just basic, like the one that comes in your little iPhone, setting little recurring reminders for the rent. I do the same thing. Like, but again, people are, when you find good tenants and you spend that time on the front end, like it's really a breeze to manage them, like as you're going along. But I do have a reminder in there just in case, like, did I not see that,
Right,
direct deposit drop type of thing. But
right.
nothing too fancy, to be honest.
Gotcha. Okay. So I imagine your life is an inspiration to so many others. So, do you have a large turnout in your investment seminars, and what can people look forward to when attending one of your seminars?
So my courses are digital on demand, which means that they're basically self-paced. So I put all this content together. There are hours and modules where you're able to go and reference my documents, similar to the consulting engagement that we did, but just imagine it like being where you could pause and play me like a DVD type of thing.
Okay.
Um, and so I
Nice.
say it's not your traditional seminar format, even though that is something that I'm looking to expand and do. The reason that I wanted to do it in the digital on demand structure to begin with is thank you. The reason I wanted to leverage that format to begin with is one of the reasons that I even started, my original consulting business is I felt like dang, it's so much stuff out there that is like not easy to learn if you didn't get it at the kitchen table type of thing.
Right.
Just realistically, like I have a whole job, friends and family, like just things that I want to do. And then I know that my price is for my one-on-one engagement is kind of price prohibitive for a lot of people. And so this was a way that I could like capture the information and at one time make a repository for it and just let people come to it as they need it. And so all that being said, I have been very overwhelmed and humbled by the response that I've gotten from the initial rollout of my first course, which is called Real Estate Strategy 101. That one's really focused on sharing my story of like, how did I go from having one house in 2015 to being able to purchase five? And though I don't own all five at this time, I've leveraged each deal to help build my net worth and build my portfolio up. And each deal has funded the next type of thing. So that play-by-play is available. And then I have two more courses that launch on January 6th, but they're available for pre-order now. The first one is called How to Flip Not Flop. And that one really just documents like what is new construction, what is flipping all about. It is a completely different skill set than buying a house that's already built and just managing a tenant. So what does that look like? What are the things to look out for? What are the numbers like? And realistically, here was the composition of my day for like the months that I was building it. Is this something you want to sign up for? Separately, the third course is called Section 8 Secrets. And that one really just demystifies everything that you thought you knew about Section 8. Like it's not even called Section 8 anymore. It's called the Housing Choice Voucher Program. Each housing authority has different standards. There is a very specific process you have to go through in order to become a qualified tenant. They have a very strict inspection schedule and things that will like completely blow up your spot type of thing. So it's just like it's guaranteed money, but with anything good, there are things that are not so, bright and shiny. So really given everything that I know in both of those lanes. And then the last product is like a bundle of all three, which I call the real estate three-piece. So all of those are available.
These cute names. I love it. Yeah.
It's so funny that I went to American Deli that day that I named. Um,
Are you serious?
and I really think that inspired the whole three-piece name. But yes, so I have gotten a really good turnout so far. So I appreciate everyone who's supported me. And Shelby is someone that I ask what to eat every other day, so she can relate. But yeah.
Nice. So, which has been like the most popular? I guess the first one, because you've only rolled out one, right?
Yep. And the other have gotten purchases, but I think one of the big things that's been helpful with Real Estate Strategy 101 is like the organic testimonials that people tag me in and appreciate, you had the actual real live and in color consultation, but like the proof is in the pudding type of thing. Like it's not just something that I've been able to do. Like there are several people who've leveraged this exact same framework and have been able to grow their net worth and portfolio. So that has been the best one so far, but we will see 30 days out what that looks like.
Yes, ma'am. What encouragement can you give someone who wants to start this kind of like work or business, and may not have all the money to start?
I would say shameless plug, but seriously, check out my course because you may be counting yourself out, right?
So true.
Like you may be like self-selecting yourself out. I know that in college I went to this program at Harvard, and the reason that they even had it was called the Summer Venture and Management Program, and it was specifically targeted at minority students. And by minority, it didn't just mean like Black. You could have been like first generation going to college, your sexual preference, like all these different things qualifies you. But they said we feel it's so important to pay for y'all to come from all around the country and spend your time here for 1 week and take classes with real professors, because you need to be here and see that you can be successful, because we find that people like you all just don't even apply. You count yourselves out before we can even deny you. And so I look at that as analogous to this situation, because it's like, how do you know that you don't have enough money when you don't even know exactly how much it costs and you don't know all the programs that you qualify for? You know what I mean? And it's like, you don't know the different strategies that people have used, like, because precedent is king. And so I just think that it's important to truly educate yourself and not just, oh, let me ask myself, do I not have enough money? No, I don't have, like, no. Get an expert on your team, right. Like have the preliminary conversations with, your lender, your agent. Is not something that you can just sit in your house and answer yourself.
Exactly. So where should someone start?
So I think your first place would really be to assess what your numbers look like. Like you should obviously know how much money you make per year, but like really thinking through like, this is how much money I make per year. This is how much I make per month. These are what my monthly debts are. So, and don't count your rent, because in theory, that's something that would like kind of go away once you got your house. But like, this is how much my car note is. This is how much like my minimum on my credit cards are. This is how much my student loans are. Like really get like an inventory of where your money goes, because that's going to be the question anyone you go to as an expert is going to ask you, like, what are those pieces of information, as you just know from going through that process. And it feels like you're revealing your naked financial self. But I mean, at the end of the day, they're loaning you typically hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like they deserve to know that, to see like what's what. So that would be first. And then I would say like really just have a mindset shift within yourself. Like as far as, okay, this is what I'm setting out to do. Despite what I learned from, I would say your first point person would be a qualified lender. Despite what I learned from going to this person, this is something that I'm capable of doing. It's not a matter of if, it's just kind of a win thing, and just having that type of energy as you like go through each milestone.
Nice. So how much money would you say somebody needs to have to the side?
I think it completely depends, because I know people who close with $500. So, I mean, again, check out the course. But there are several down payment programs. I know on my first home, I received $6,000, which ended up turning into over $40,000 profit when I sold it in 2 years. And I mean, I didn't paint the house. I didn't alter the floors. I didn't do anything. I just held it. And so that's the other big thing, is like time is of the essence, and act like the floor is on fire and move, because the same thing you can do and get today, like today, I don't qualify for that same grant that I qualified for. Now, it's because I earn more money, but I know several people like where, because they didn't do it at the same time as me, granted, you can say like, oh, well, but they earn more money. But, like when you're getting your payments over the 26 pay periods in a year, all your little increase about to go towards the money they would have given you for free a year before.
Exactly.
Like timing and sequencing and all of that is of the essence. But I can't say, I mean, just as a general rule of thumb, I think as a grown person, maybe just shooting for $2,000 saved. But again, I know people personally who've closed with $500.
Wow, that's so amazing. So I know, okay, guys, I have taken a course, but like she said, I had a one-on-one. Praise the Lord. Thank you. But anyway, I am so blessed to have Kiah because I could not have, if you don't know, I closed on my house last Friday. I could not have done this without you, sis. I am just so, I might cry. And I've never cried.
Don't cry.
Girl, I'm just so emotional because, like she said, you will really count yourself out if you don't have somebody that's like so resourceful, like she is, that knows her stuff, that can write it down. You looking at your numbers. She's such a numbers person. So, one thing that I took out of the class that I had or my experience with Kiah is do not fall in love with the house, fall in love with the numbers. And that something that I had to do when I was out shopping because I am somebody that likes nice things, but I can't look at that because this is my first investment home. This is my first investment. So it's like, no, Joanna, you're not going to get everything grand. Everything is not going to be, I'm not going to get all that I wanted on my list. And I got lucky, actually. I got pretty much everything I wanted, except like the huge walk-in closet.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we're gonna have that, but I got everything that I wanted. And something else that I took out of her class is you don't have to use, so I had a certain amount in my loan. I didn't even use the whole amount. You don't have to do that, guys. Like, I don't know. Just take the class. I'm not gonna tell you all the jewels, but take the class. Sis will really have you coming out like, I am just so blessed. Like, if y'all only knew, like, I'm paying way less than people who live in the city in an apartment, don't even have, I mean, 3 times the space that I have. I'm paying so much less. I am so glad that I jumped out on faith and I just actually did it. And how this started, Kiah was been doing this. I was still in college. I don't know if you remember, but I remember when you started, I was like, Kiah, I want to do it. I had called you. I felt so y'all. Listen, I felt so embarrassed because sis didn't have her money together, okay? I did not have my money together. And I remember Kiah was just like, this is my prices. I was like, sis, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it, And I know you probably thought I was lying, but
oh my God.
I'm pretty sure you thought I was lying. But I came back. I called Kiah and I said, look, I'm ready. I had stacked my bread. I was ready. And I jumped on
Friday night. We thugged it out. What, like 4 hours?
We thugged it out 4 hours. Listen, it was worth it. It was worth every penny. And one thing I loved about Kiah is I told her straight up, look, sis, I don't know all the lingo in real estate, and that's something that I am so thankful for, that I took it before I actually went out shopping. Right. Because they're talking to you, I knew the lingo. I knew what my realtor was talking about. I knew what my lender was speaking about, and I didn't feel lost, you know? So I'm just so thankful and so blessed that I took your class. I couldn't have done this without you, sis. This is my mentor, you guys. So I hope you click on her link on her Instagram because sis will get you right. Okay? And
I appreciate
I'm at a loss for words. If I keep talking, I'm gonna cry. I'm so serious because I couldn't have done it without you, Kiah. I really couldn't have. And I'm just so thankful for the resource that you gave.
I really, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can. I'm
perfect. I was just saying, I really appreciate you trusting me with your business. I know that some parts we was like having a great debater session, like, but I do this, but I'm like, but no, look at the number, look at the spreadsheet, look what it says. So it sounds like you are not new to this, you're true to this now, and you're out here making your moves. And like you said, like even just having that imprint and knowing like the little nuggets, because at the end of the day, like, people are people, and every person, meaning like the professionals that you'll use as part of your team, like your lender, like your realtor, they'll have their preference. And I think it's important to be like an educated consumer, because that way you have a stance and you're not like a leaf just blowing in the wind. Like,
Right.
you know what you think is good for yourself versus not. And it sounds like, oh, well, it's not that complicated, but it could be. You know,
Yep.
and just having your own opinion when you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, I feel, is key, because you're the one who's going to have that get stuck on your credit report. You're the one who's going to pull up to the property every day. And while I agree with you that you don't have to love like your first, second, or even third property, I look at each house I have as truly an investment. I think about who will rent this or buy this from me when I'm done with it.
Yep.
At the same time, there are certain things that I have to have. And I think, again, a good agent is obviously like listening to what your preferences and everything are. But you want to make sure they're facilitating your plan versus you just like kind of going along with their show, because this is your business, it's your investment, it's your life. So no, I appreciate you though trusting me with your business and the kudos.
Thank you, sis. So yes, I am blessed. Like I said, you don't have to go out and think you have to use this whole loan that you have, guys. Do what Kiah says. It needs to fit you and your budget. You know what you're working with. And some of those lenders and some realtors, they might shoot you like, wanting you to use all of this money. But like, if you have a family or you have all this extra stuff, that's money too. And you gotta, just break everything down. And that's something else that I love with Kiah's course, that I have access to resources forever. When I get multiple homes, she has something that is locked in my computer where I put the numbers in. I can see my numbers moving forward. And that's just something I'm just so thankful for, because I did my numbers before even closing.
Right.
So working with, I know what I got. I know, how I need to juggle my money to make sure that I'm comfortable. And
Right.
that's all about. It's not about just going out here and just getting it, for the glitz and glam, because the glitz and glam will have you sitting outside your house,
Bro,
broke. It's
let's invest it.
not about that, guys. This is an investment. And like she said, you got to start small, start somewhere, just jump. You might be ready and you don't even know it.
Right.
That's the thing. That's the crazy thing. And listen, sis, my credit score before now, sis, we've jumped like 13 points.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am so overwhelmed. I'm gonna cry. It's coming. It's coming. But I'm so thankful. And it's not over. It's not over.
That's number one.
We just starting. We just starting. Okay? We just starting. So you guys, if you want to get into this business, you want to get into stuff, because one, I'm not even thinking about myself. I'm thinking about my future children, like family, having having income that just comes while they're asleep. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm on. So if you're on that, guys, hit Kiah up, okay? Because she will get you right. Kiah, tell us where we can go to get your course. Whoever's online that wants to know about your course or get it, how can they?
Sure thing. So, if you go to the link in my bio, and my handle, which I'm sure you can see on your lives, is just @_Kiah D. So that's where you can go. All my courses are on Gumroad. And I do want to open up the floor if anyone who has joined has questions. We'll take like 2 or 3, maybe. So if you do have a question, please, I can't say shout it out, but type it out.
Yeah.
But no, and while we're waiting for the first people to give their questions or whatever, thank you so much for this opportunity. This is my first live. I didn't know how I felt about it.
I feel so good. I've been a couple of people's first lives, and I'm just like, me? Really? Thank you. Thank you. We're not done, though. I'm sorry. What you was about to say?
I was just gonna say, I think it comes from me not really wanting people to know where I am at a given time. That's why I don't leverage
Yeah,
live.
yeah.
But
Kia, tell the people where you from. Where you from, Kia?
I'm from Riverdale, Georgia.
So you a Georgia girl, Riverdale, Clayco.
Yes, ma'am. Is your course available in your bio? Yes, it is. It's available right now. If you go to that little link tree, and all the different courses are there, you can just navigate there through Gumroad and check out. Thanks for your question, Shelby.
I guess while we're waiting on the next question, I have another part of the show. So this is the Velvet Bowl.
Okay.
And this is giving your viewers a chance to see behind the velvet curtain of your life, right?
All
So
right.
what I'm gonna pull out, Kia. Hey, Chef. Hey, Kodak. I don't know what I'm gonna pull out, but
Good.
whatever I pull out, you can say how you feel about it, how
The
what it means to you. This is interesting. Um, so the floor is yours. So the word is marriage. How do you feel?
ah, why is this my word?
That's what I said. Interesting. I'm ready to hear your comment. How do you feel about marriage, or how do you relate, or the floor is yours.
I think marriage is a beautiful thing. When it's two people who are truly for each other, and the love is unconditional, and they're compatible on all the levels that you need to be, which I feel like number one is emotionally,
Mm.
and mentally. And so I'm definitely for marriage. That is a goal of mine when I find my forever person. And that's my stance on that.
Nice. Looks like we got another question. So, how long would you say it takes for somebody or someone that takes the class to be successful?
I think it depends on that person's definition of success, and it depends on their current kind of financial positioning. So, if success is being informed and knowledgeable about the real estate process and how to get their first property and just like having all that information, it would be immediately upon completing the course. So, that would be like 2.5 hours. But as far as them actually executing their first deal, it truly depends on what their starting point is. Because if they're just like a moderate normal person and like don't have too much debt and have a little bit saved kind of to where they can get started, I mean, we have the student of the year here who did in less than 90 days. And that came with like actually shopping for houses and closing and everything. So I think it really depends on the person. But my definition of success is really knowing what it takes to kind of like jump off the porch. And that happens again, like almost instantly after taking the course.
Right. And I'm going to jump in on that too, because I guess how I was so successful, like I said, she maps it all out for you. So I literally had steps. I had the things that I needed to do. I knew what I needed to do. And so it just depends on too, I guess, what you come with her with. I had cash, so it was kind of a little easier for me to just, get out and go. But she does map it out like for you, everything. So it's a blessing.
Thank you. Well, looks like we don't have any more questions, unfortunately.
Well, what else do you want your followers or subscribers to know about your course or your business, Kia? Any?
Um, Less about my business and more about the mindset shift that just has to occur. I feel like to thanks, Shelby. Um, so I think it would be less about my business and more about just like again not counting yourself out. The thing that even got me started in real estate was finding out that the person who happened to be my landlord owned like hundreds of units, or I'll say hundreds of doors rather. And so I always wondered how she was able to charge us being me and my roommate at the time, like such an economical rent rate. And it included like utilities, and it was like in Atlantic Station. And I mean, like the price point was very, very, very cute in a good way. And so
Wow.
how is she able to charge us this? Like, this makes absolutely no sense. Because the HOA alone in this place was like almost $600. And when I Googled her name, because that's just, what I felt the need to do, I saw like that this woman owned apartment complexes like randomly in different parts of Georgia. And so I say all that to say, like, there are ordinary, and I'm not saying like she's ordinary, because she's not, like, she's extraordinary, but there is no look or a way that someone has to be like a landlord. There
Right.
are people who own dozens of properties, but like, they're not out here like flexing on the gram or whatever, like, but that is one of the oldest and most reliable ways to build your net worth. um the thing about your net worth is not just like the money that you bring in as you
Mhm.
work, that active income. It's also having assets and things that are current, like that grow. And so, like, for example, with my first property, I purchased that property for 128 and I sold it for 180. So by me just being attached to this thing, my net worth grew with it. And so it's just like, don't count yourself out. Don't be like, oh, I need to wait till I'm married. I need
Yeah.
to whatever. Because, and again, and don't let other people's limiting beliefs kind of taint your own vision. Because I
Mhm.
remember when I first went from, so getting the first house, people who know and love me, right? These are like family members, elders, etc. You gonna get a house by yourself? Like, how is that gonna look to a man? I don't know, but if a man who's for me don't like it, then we not
Yeah.
work, because it's not about that, right? Or and then when I got the second house, like, yeah, I'm really thinking about renting out this first one and getting the next one. It's like, oh well, when those people don't pay you, you gonna mess up your credit. Da-da-da-da. Eh, don't let someone give you direction somewhere they never been. It's just
Come.
like,
Yes.
and it
Yes.
doesn't mean don't be coachable, but it just means like really get in tune with what it is you're trying to do and find thought leaders who you feel like you resonate with and mimic their process, because there are no points given for creativity unless you're doing like music or art or something. But in like the finance world, it's like you don't want to be out here freestyling. You want to do something that's tried and true. And so again, I think my courses plug into those different nuggets that I would give, but in general, that would be my guidance on like how to get started, like how to get your head in the game to kind of make those moves.
Yeah, exactly. I so agree because you've already done this. And I know this. Like, I know you, I've seen your work, so you've already created the wheel. All I'm doing is following. I mean, you've given me the blueprint. So all I'm doing is just, okay, sis told me to, I'm just following. And that's basically it.
Yep.
So,
Any other questions in the room?
I've never done questions before. You're the first.
Oh, see, I'm bringing my work into this. Like,
No,
all
it's fun. I love it. I think this is a really good topic to have questions, though. I'm sure people, appreciate that. So,
and there are no dumb questions.
exactly. None, because I was asking all kind of questions.
You had your list.
Yes, I did. I wasn't playing.
Nope.
None. Because I want to know, and that's what I appreciate about you, too, that you took the time to answer my questions.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't make me feel like I was, crazy. Questions that I was asking, because like I said, I didn't know the terminology. I didn't know how this worked.
Right.
So I wanted to ask questions so I can kind of, get
Right.
my head figure out like what do I need to do? Like what is this gonna lead me to?
Right,
How do I start?
right.
So I really appreciated that. So with the people getting your course, are they able to like ask you questions? Like
Definitely.
okay.
And so that's one thing that I really enjoy after launching the course, because again, it's like I haven't been able to organically meet all these people like face to face like what we did. So yes, like after you purchase my course, like I'm not gonna sit here and answer 55 questions, but at the same time, there is that level of just me getting that voice of customer and voice of user, and it's something like where I'm making tweaks to enhance the curriculum over and over again. So no, like you definitely, once you take the course, if there's still an open question, I'm happy to answer it.
Nice. I think she wants to know. Yeah.
Yes, so you are able to order the second and third course from the link in my bio. Again, those two courses are called How to Flip Not Flop and Section 8 Secrets. And both of those courses, the descriptions are in the link, but essentially one is about how do you build a new construction and or do a flip, and the other is about how do you decide whether or not you really want to play the Section 8 game with the federal government, because the pros that are always advertised are, oh, like guaranteed rent, but there are also some limitations and constraints. So all that information is disclosed. And I also want to say, in the Real Estate Strategy 101 course and all my courses, I am an open book as far as the numbers. So that isn't something that I walk around with a t-shirt, like just in the general world saying like, oh, I purchased
Yeah.
property for X and I sold it for Y. But within my course, you're able to look at all the nitty gritty, some of the closing documents and all of that. Cause I know that's something people are often interested in, stories and like, here are the receipts. And in addition, I'm less concerned about sharing my story. Even though I do that, I'm really focused on helping you build your own blueprint and, start your own journey. So,
Yeah. And I'm a witness. She does the numbers, everything that she did, I was able to see with my own eyes. Like I meant that literally. She shows you. So it's worth every penny, guys. It's worth it. That's all I can say. So get the course. The next one comes out when, Kiah? When?
January 6th, but you can pre order it now.
Okay, perfect. So if you want it, guys, go pre-order it right now. Give us your tag again.
It's underscore Kiah D underscore.
Nice. So thank you for joining Real
Sure.
Talk Day, Kiah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Guys, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something, take something away from this. And guys, if you are interested in doing investment, please, please, please hit up Kiah because she got the juice, man. She just knows what she's doing. And you just need to get it. I'm telling you, it's a blessing. It's such a blessing. So I'm honored, I'm grateful, I'm thankful to have you as my mentor. So thank you,
My
thank
pleasure. So much for having me. This was a great experience. And again, appreciate you for trusting me with your business and with your platform tonight. So
you.
onwards and up.
Yes, no problem, sis. So guys, I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Thank you guys for watching and have a wonderful night.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye. You're welcome.